The essential compliance checks you must do before taking on clients for your concierge or private duty nursing practices. Contemplation is the enemy of implementation. Overthinking keeps nurses from being effective. In other words, it keeps you broke. Today, I want to help you break free from overthinking and take action towards that concierge nursing business you've been contemplating. I'm here to help you stop second guessing and start doing. If you're starting a concierge nursing business, compliance can feel overwhelming. But guess what? We're making it simple today. In this video, I'll walk you through the essential compliance checks you must do before taking on a client in plain English and actionable steps. This isn't boring legal fluff. These are the key steps that protect your license and your business from day one. Plus, I've got a gift for you, a free nurse business starter kit to jumpstart your journey. I'll tell you how to get it in just a minute. Remember, contemplation is the enemy of implementation. Overthinking keeps you stressed and broke. So let's not let analysis paralysis hold you back any longer. Let's dive in and set you up for success step by step. My objectives for this video are to empower you to launch your concierge or private duty practices legally and confidently, highlight key compliance steps to protect your license and business, and also provide actionable tips so you can start taking clients safely and quickly. Before we jump into the checklist, let's talk about why compliance matters so much. Imagine pouring your heart into a new private nursing practice only to get shut down or even lose your license over a preventable mistake. Not on our watch. The truth is, good intentions aren't enough in healthcare. You and I both know the law doesn't take ignorance as an excuse. Compliance is your foundation. It keeps you legal, ethical, and safe, which means you can focus on caring for your clients instead of looking over your shoulder. Think of these checks as your insurance policy, literally and figuratively, for your career. When you cover your bases, you protect both your license and your income. All right, now that we're clear on the why, let's get into the what. Exactly what you need to check off before taking that first client. Check number 1, your RN license and credentials. This might sound obvious, but start by confirming your nursing license is active and in good standing. No lapses, no disciplinary red flags. Go to your state board's website and double check if needed. You've worked hard for that license, so make sure it's current and compliant. Next, think about any additional credentials you'll need for the services you want to offer. For example, if you're planning to provide foot care or IV hydration, do you need a certification or special training? Ensure you got those bases covered before you start. Also, check your state and local requirements. Do you need a general business license or registration to operate? In many cases, you might. For example, some states or counties require a simple license to run a home-based healthcare business. The bottom line here is have your paperwork in order, an active RN license, any required business license, and completed CEUs or certifications show that you're qualified and ready to practice. It's the first thing to get right because everything else builds on this foundation. Check number 2, business structure and liability protection. Now we're talking about setting up your business the right way. First, choose a legal structure for your practice. Many nurse entrepreneurs opt for an LLC, a limited liability company, because it can protect your personal assets in case of any business liability. Essentially, if something ever goes wrong, you want your house and personal bank account safe. I'm not a lawyer, so definitely consult a professional if you can, but know that choosing the right legal structure is crucial. Next, insurance. You absolutely want to have professional liability insurance, malpractice insurance in place before seeing clients. This is strongly recommended for nurse entrepreneurs. It protects you if a client ever alleges negligence or an accident. It covers legal costs, settlements, all that scary stuff. So one incident doesn't bankrupt your business. For most of us, an affordable nurse malpractice policy is a no-brainer investment in peace of mind. Additionally, think about general liability insurance if you're going into people's homes. For example, if a client trips over your equipment bag, you want coverage for that too. Finally, treat your practice like a real business. Set up a separate business bank account. Get an EIN, employer identification number, for tax purposes, and keep your finances separate. Not only is this good practice, but it also reinforces that you're operating professionally and transparently. By structuring properly and getting insured, you're building a safety net that lets you serve clients with confidence, knowing you're covered. Check number 3. Know your scope of practice and set boundaries. This is huge. As an RN venturing into concierge nursing, you must be crystal clear about what you can and cannot do under your license. That means digging into your state's Nurse Practice Act. I know it's not the most thrilling read, but it's your rulebook. Every state defines what tasks an independent RN can perform, what might require physician orders, and what might cross the line into needing to be a different kind of provider. For instance, can RNs independently administer IV medications in a private setting? Or do you need an MDS order? Are you allowed to adjust a client's medication dosage? Or would that be prescribing, which is outside the RN scope? These details matter big time. Stay firmly within your scope. No diagnosing illnesses, no prescribing treatments or medications, and no invasive procedures that your license doesn't cover. When in doubt, partner with an allied provider. For example, have a friendly physician or NP you can call for orders or guidance on borderline cases. Also, maintain professional boundaries. You're not an agency with multiple disciplines. You're a nurse providing nursing care. Don't promise services that would essentially make you an unlicensed home health agency or nurse registry if you're not set up as one. That can get you in legal trouble fast. The Sovereign Healthcare Consulting Group said it well. A concierge nurse works independently within the Nurse Practice Act and cannot act like an agency if they aren't one. So remember, just because you're the boss now doesn't mean you can do anything. By respecting your scope and setting clear boundaries, you actually protect your license and ensure you give safe, high-quality care. This check will save you from headaches and potential violations down the road. Check number 4, documentation and privacy compliance. We've all heard the mantra, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. As your own boss, this is more true than ever. You need a plan for documenting every client interaction thoroughly. Assessments, interventions, client education, any incidents, all of it. Use whatever method works for you. Electronic health record software, encrypted notes app, or even good old paper charts stored securely. But be consistent and detailed. In independent practice, failing to document properly is dangerous, not only for patient safety, but also for your legal protection. Good documentation is your evidence of what you did, when and why, in case any question comes up later. Along with documentation comes privacy. Even if you're just one nurse, you're handling personal health information. So you must follow privacy laws like HIPAA in the US and any other relevant regulation. This means keeping client information secure. If you're storing records on a computer, make sure it's password protected and encrypted if possible. If you're keeping paper notes, lock them up. Don't leave client files in your car or lying around. When communicating with clients or other providers, use secure channels. For example, don't text identifiable health info over regular SMS. Use a secure app, or at least get the client's permission, and make sure they understand the risks. Also, have clients sign a HIPAA consent/release if you might be coordinating with their physicians or family members, so you have permission to share necessary info. Essentially, treat privacy and confidentiality as sacred. It's part of our nursing ethics, and it's also the law. If you mishandle patient information, you could face penalties or lose trust. So before taking on clients, double check that your documentation system is set and you have a plan to keep their data safe. This will protect your client's privacy and shield you from liability. Check number 5, client agreements and consent forms. Never start providing services without the paperwork in place. I know paperwork isn't fun, but it will save you a lot of trouble later. You should have a simple service contract or agreement that every client or their representative signs before you begin care. This contract should clearly spell out the scope of your services, what you will and won't do, along with the fees or rate, how and when you'll be paid, cancellation policies, etc. It's all about setting the right expectations up front. The agreement also protects you by limiting your duties to what's stated. If a client later asks for something outside the agreement, like, say, financial advice or 24/7 on-call availability, when you didn't agree to that, you can point back to the contract. In addition to a service agreement, make sure to obtain informed consent for any nursing procedures or interventions. Even though you're not in a hospital, the principles of consent still apply. Have the client sign a basic consent to treat form that covers that they understand the nature of the services, any potential risks of procedures, if any, and that this is private pay nursing care. If you're doing any skilled procedures, dressing changes, injections, etc., document that you explained it and they agreed. This might sound formal, but is both for their protection and yours. Also, consider including a clause about what happens in an emergency. For example, in a medical emergency, 911 will be called. Seems obvious, but it's good to have it stated. Don't forget a HIPAA release if you'll need to discuss their care with doctors or family. As mentioned earlier, having all these agreements and consents in writing isn't about distrust. It actually builds trust. It shows you are a professional and sets a tone of transparency. Plus, if a client ever were to question something or if anything went wrong, you have documentation that they understood and agreed to the plan of care. Many experienced nurse entrepreneurs will tell you, never skip the contract. It's a common mistake to just verbally agree and start helping, but handshake deals can lead to misunderstandings. So your 5th check is to have your client forms ready, service agreement, consent forms, maybe an intake or assessment form, all that good stuff. Review them with your client at the start so everyone's on the same page. This way, you and your client feel secure entering into the care relationship. Before I let you go, let's quickly recap and then talk about your next steps. We covered a lot: verifying your license and credentials, setting up your business and insurance, staying within your scope, keeping good records and privacy, and getting your paperwork signed. It might sound like a lot, but each of these steps is totally doable. And trust me, taking the time to check all these boxes will give you so much confidence when you start with that first client. Compliance isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. When you know you're doing things the right way, you can focus on your passion for patient care without that nagging worry in the back of your mind. As one compliance expert put it, good intentions do not protect your license, but action does. You've got this. Now, here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video. Take action on it. Make yourself a checklist with these 5 areas and start checking them off one by one. Contemplation is the enemy of implementation. We said it at the start. So let's beat overthinking by doing. Even if you can only tackle one item today, that's progress. Remember, every big success is just a series of small steps. For more help, don't forget to grab your free nurse business starter kit. Or if you want to waste no time and stop guessing, buy the full Nurse Unchained system. The links are in the description below. I put these together specifically for nurses like you starting out. The free starter kit is packed with handy resources like a sample client intake form, a basic contract outline, and a startup checklist that goes beyond compliance into marketing and mindset. It's basically your next step to build on what we covered here. So go ahead and download that. It's my gift to you to kickstart your journey. Lastly, if you'd like, join the Nurse Unchained community. We're all about helping each other. No nurse left behind, okay? I'm here to share tips, honest insights, and a dose of inspiration to keep you going. Also, help other nurses find this information. You never know who else out there needs these tips. No gatekeeping. There's space for all of us to thrive. And ask questions, or if there's a topic you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching and investing in yourself today. I am so excited for you. You're building something amazing, and now you have the tools to do it the right way. Remember, the only thing left between you and your dream is taking that first client, and now you can do it with confidence. Stay safe, stay compliant, and stay inspired. See you in the next video.